A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a striking display of tension between the White House and the Federal Reserve, President Donald Trump has intensified his criticism of Fed Chair Jerome Powell, following the central bank's decision to maintain interest rates at their current levels for at least another month. During a recent bill signing ceremony held in the Roosevelt Room, Trump lambasted Powell, whom he has often referred to derisively, stating, "We should be the lowest interest rate. And we're not. We're number 38 because of the federal. It's all because of the federal. He's done a bad job." This latest outburst comes as the Federal Reserve's Open Markets Committee convened to discuss monetary policy, with Trump expressing frustration over Powell's perceived delays in addressing his calls for lower rates. In response to Trump's remarks, the Federal Reserve issued a statement just moments after the president's comments, explaining their decision to keep interest rates steady. The bank indicated that while employment and economic growth have remained stable during Trump's first half year in office, inflation has been described as somewhat elevated. Powell elaborated during a subsequent press conference, noting that the president's reciprocal tariffs have contributed to increased inflation on certain goods, although the long-term economic repercussions of these tariffs are still uncertain. Powell stated, "Recent indicators suggest growth of economic activity has moderated, attributing this slowdown largely to decreased consumer spending." The decision to maintain interest rates, which is typically reached unanimously, was marked by an unprecedented dissent from two members of the committee. Federal Reserve Vice Chair of Supervision Michelle Bowman and Board of Governors member Christopher Waller voted in favor of lowering rates, a move interpreted as an attempt to align with Trump's economic agenda. With Powell's term set to expire next year, both Bowman and Waller are rumored to be potential candidates for the position should Trump decide to replace Powell. Despite the dissenting votes, Powell characterized the meeting as productive, stating, "People thought carefully about this and put their positions out there." He emphasized that the majority of the committee viewed the current inflation rate as a bit above target and suggested that a modestly restrictive interest rate policy was warranted based on the available data. The Fed's decision coincided with the release of a report from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, which revealed that the gross domestic product, GDP, grew by 3% in the last economic quarter from April to June. The report also highlighted a rise in consumer spending, while imports saw a decline, likely a consequence of Trump's recent tariff announcements. Additionally, the report indicated a decline in investment, following a previous quarter where GDP had actually contracted, a situation Trump has attributed to the policies of his predecessor, Joe Biden. The backdrop of this decision is a period of sustained pressure from Trump and his allies on the Federal Reserve. The president has openly criticized Powell and his leadership, suggesting that the central bank's independence is being compromised by political influences. Trump's administration has also scrutinized the ongoing renovations at the Fed's headquarters, using it as a pretext to question Powell's effectiveness and leadership. In recent weeks, Trump has ramped up his attacks, labeling Powell a stupid person for his reluctance to lower interest rates in light of the tariffs imposed by the administration. However, Powell maintains that the Fed requires time to assess the effects of these tariffs on inflation and employment before making any drastic changes to interest rates. He has consistently defended the independence of the Federal Reserve, stating, "I think that an independent central bank has been an institutional arrangement that has served the public well, and as long as it serves the public well, it should continue and be respected." Powell also warned against the dangers of politicizing the Federal Reserve, cautioning that such actions could lead to the manipulation of monetary policy for political gain, which he opposes. As the economic landscape continues to evolve, the Federal Reserve's recent decision to keep interest rates stable highlights the ongoing challenges faced by the central bank amid external pressures from the White House. Looking ahead, the coming week promises to be significant for economic news, with a federal court scheduled to hear oral arguments regarding the tariffs on Thursday. Furthermore, the Bureau of Labor Statistics is expected to release its jobs report for July on Friday, adding another layer of complexity to the current economic climate. As the nation grapples with these developments, the interplay between the Trump administration and the Federal Reserve remains a focal point of scrutiny and debate. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, So hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.